So aside from Shopify and Moonclerk, are there any like specific tools or resources that you found particularly helpful in this business? I know there's no shortage of, services and software and websites out there. Is there like maybe 1 to 3 things that like you just cannot do without? Like it would be terrible if you lost these things. Like what do you rely on the most?
Google Sheets. So I think that.
Wow.
So yeah. So Google Sheets. Yes, the Google Sheets is very, very important for our business. Of course, our email marketing thing, and which is Klaviyo, very, very important. And then Follow Up Boss, which is our CRM, which was a complete game changer, because now we were able to separate a list of our retail customers and our wholesale customers, and all their information's in there. When someone makes a call, it's logged. So having a really solid CRM. I've tried other big services, but Follow Up Boss has so far been my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask, Peter, I know you are somebody who has leveraged, this isn't exactly a tool, but you've leveraged Fiverr pretty extensively. Can you share with everyone what kinds of things you've used it for, what you use it for regularly, and how it's helped you grow and scale your business?
Absolutely. So, hiring. So we just hired a new marketing person today, which I found on Fiverr. And so Fiverr is basically, it's a great source for you to find, like, for example, we were just talking about Shopify. There's probably 50 people on there who are just wonderful at building you a website that you can hire and pay them per job or per gig. And it's super easy. And the reason why they've just become incredibly successful also is, again, it's that 3-4 click thing, right? Where you can go on there, find someone that will say, I'll build you a website, and you just click 2 buttons, you pay them, and they're technically hired for that gig. Mm-hmm. So you can hire them to make your postcards that you're sending for direct mail, your websites. You can do a lot of things on there. So I've used them mostly for graphic design work and marketing related gigs.
Yeah, I know. That's both the things you said there. Google Sheets, it's something that's like, it's such a commonplace thing. I don't think about how nice it is, but like, it is really nice.
Right.
Like I rely on it too. It'd be a huge problem if that disappeared overnight. And Fiverr too. Like I've used Fiverr a ton over the years for all kinds of random things. And sometimes I've referred to it as like the Walmart of online outsourcing. Like it's pretty cheap, and sometimes that's indicative of value, but not always. There's like really good value to be found there. But sometimes just hearing you talk, like I feel like I'm almost underutilizing it. Like there's a lot more I could be finding there, and they do make it super simple to find like pretty good talent sometimes. And even if it like bombs, it's like, okay, well, that was like $100, not a big deal, depending on what the project is. So when you consider all the things that you are good at, and sometimes this is hard for us to recognize because we're good at them and they don't seem like anything special. But when you think of the things that you can do well, what do you think is your unfair advantage? Like, what can you do well that other people can't do well in this space? And how has that contributed to your success?
So I think the first thing is being a connector, right? Mm-hmm. Is doing things like creating lists and calling people, talking to them, building relationships. So being able to really kind of get down and like really call people, connect with them, text them. I think that would be my unfair advantage, right? Mm-hmm. Because sometimes people might see other companies as like competition or whatever, but for me, I've always seen them as like, there's definitely 100% a way that you can create a win-win from talking to someone. And actually, some of my really, really good friends now are from just connecting, right? Mm-hmm. How me and Ajay met. It's just crazy random connections, but you never know where those relationships will go. So I would say building relationships, it would be my first skill. And then the second thing is being willing to try new things and invest in them. Like I have no problem. There's been so many paid advertising things that we've tried. Some have just given us outsized returns, and some have been a 100% loss. But just being able to try new things and not be scared of like losing I would say have been helpful.